Okay, so the weird thing happened to me with this transmission, and this is why you take your transmission to a professional, not me, because although I'll get it done, it'll take 3 months and among other things. But right now, see that scraping? I'm actually simulating it. I figured out the problem, but it's the most bizarre thing I ever ran into in a long time. Now, the reason why it's scraping, I literally just put two of these washers here, the old one and the new one, on here to make it longer than it is. But this washer here is not even supposed to be on this side, it's on the other side. So this usually doesn't even come into play. There's one plastic thrust washer here, and this all comes out together. You can take it out together, but basically there's a bearing on the underside of this, which is here, because it falls off. But the only way to get rid of that noise was I literally took out this bearing and then it stopped making noise. And I'm like, what the hell is doing this? And I took everything apart. I had the whole transmission built already. So you got this guy there and he's on the bottom. But the first thing I did to this thing, besides cleaning it up, I put this bushing in the bottom here. I literally just tapped it a little bit more. And now it's like I put those two bushings in, I can't even, the two thrust washers like that, just to simulate the same noise. I can't even get it to do it. I barely, and I mean barely, inserted this further in. I just tapped it a little bit further, and it actually stopped making the noise. So I don't know what it was, but I gather it's something to do with, I mean, this bearing here, it must have been just hitting the inside of the bearing, and it just pushed it up enough, and it wasn't really contacting properly, Weirdest thing in my life that I ran into as far as transmissions are concerned. I had it flush, and I just barely tapped it now. Just barely tapped that bushing in further. And it's just so weird how that would make all the difference in the world. I was trying to, figure out something, but no matter what I did, it kept touching the case, this drum right here. And I even put the old drum in because these things, they break, and it had some miles on it. It looks like somebody replaced it one time, but I don't know if it's heavy duty. So, and it had a few marks on it. So I says, let me buy a new one. So I buy a new one. It's hardened. I know it's going to be a good one. And I couldn't figure out why, And then when it happened was when everything was together, I literally couldn't turn the output shaft in one direction. So basically now, I'm going to put this all back in the way it's supposed to be with, spins, see how it spins on? Woo! I can probably come out of the zoom. That spins nicely. And then this guy, I have everything on it already. Now, I'm supposed to put in the clutches and all that stuff, prior, but I removed the clutches to make sure it wasn't something else that was wrong, because there's a piston inside there that goes up and down when the fluid goes in, and that's what applies the clutches. I can show you that in a minute. Come on. I'm watching guys do this online, and they, like literally, like 6 minutes, he had the whole transmission put together. I mean, obviously not the drums are already set up, but it's amazing how some people just have the knack for this. I understand it, I do it, I got one hand I'm only working with anyway, but come on, you fucker. Hang on 1 second. I gotta use 2 hands. Okay, that helps. Okay, so this is all in, and like I said, I have clutches. It's a wave plate, and the center support with this sprag that goes, this piece here that goes inside of that. I would put that in at the same time I do that because it's a pain in the ass to line up. But just, I took all that out just to see if it was still scraping. Sure enough, still scraping, still scraping. No matter what I did, and I was getting worried that there was something wrong with the case even. I'm like, I don't know if his training didn't work, but it wasn't not working because of that. So now this guy is all the way in. And now look at this. It fucking spins like crazy. Before it was like borderline touching everything, and I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Just because that bushing was, and I couldn't really, even, reenact the noise without putting two of these, which were not even supposed to go there. I mean, that's a lot thicker than what I drove it in. So I don't know what the deal is, but it effectively changed the geometry. Like, if you push it to the side, it'll touch, but this is fucking spinning like it should now. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I don't know what the hell it was touching, but, pretty incredible how the way things work, though. Well, now I got to put it back together, and hopefully things will go right from now on.